My automated futures trading bot had a rough start to the day before turning around and ultimately making $750 today, May 20th. The idea of the role reversal strategy is when we set a low like right here, that is going to be a support level. Once we break a couple candles below it, it then switched to a resistance level and we would bet to the downside, which we do. Got in a little bit above it right here before it became a stop loss at the moving average. We get out, lost about $200. Not an ideal trade to start the day, but not devastating. We like to get out early, like around the moving average, because if I stayed all the way up here, that would have been absolutely soul crushing, and that would have just sucked to start the day and lost a ton of money. So you like to set the stop losses quick. Right here, you can see that red candle just barely closed below the support, the support level. If it hadn't, it would have only been 2 closes. Our bot would have not entered the trade, but it did. Not the worst thing in the world. Lost a little bit of money. Just being transparent with all the trades. Right here, the same idea. This way, betting long. We set this high right up here. Few closes above. Now, that red candle almost closed below, and then again, it would have not entered this trade, which lost me $500. That is my max stop loss on the day. But you're going to have some fortunate trades where you enter right at the tick and they work out. You're going to have some unfortunate ones where they just barely enter when they shouldn't have and it lost you money. But that's just the nature of the beast. You know, you'll never bat 1,000, or, you know, probably never. So we're down about $700-ish after the first few trades of the day. Not the best thing in the world, but we do make quite the comeback, and I'm going to show you exactly how we do that. We take this high level from right here, close above it quite a few times, and upon retesting that, we enter and bang, hit for about $300. I got out slightly below the moving average here because, as you can see, it then turned around. But what do? We enter at that exact same level and we hit again, this time a little bit more, a little over 300, closer to $400, honestly. That's $700 on those 2 trades right there. Gets us to about even on the day, and we're in a much better shape. You can see right here, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. We do a role reversal. So we don't use this level as, oh, we're going to turn around, because it is a resistance level right now. But as you can see right here, those resistance and supports get broken often. We like to do the reversal. So we would take that line, and you can see right here, it did bounce off of that. So it set the high. The thing is, we only closed a few candles above, and it was pretty volatile. And it was also close to the moving average, but that would have been a good trade to get in. The reason my bot did not enter this trade is because the level that we would use to enter the trade, it was too close to the moving average. I often use the moving average as a profit target or a stop loss, or I use it as directional level based to look at where I'm going to set my profit and stop loss. When it's too close like this, if I were to just set a stop at the moving average, it would have gotten in right there and just hit it right away before ultimately reversing. If you're trading on your own doing this strategy, this still would have been a good trade, and obviously it would have hit for quite a bit of amount of money. You would have made $1,200 if you got out right here and you got in. However, my bot avoids that trade just because of the closeness to the moving average. But it's still a strong trade. If you end up doing that, kudos to you. If you made money, hell yeah. Right here, using this level, we almost entered right here. My bot would have entered this trade. We're far enough from the moving average. We just barely, if you look, that swing level is slightly above. If it went down a few more ticks, it would have gotten in, it would have hit. It's a little disappointing when you just barely miss out on getting in on a winning trade, but you really can't dwell on every single win or loss, because it's going to drive you crazy and you're going to be like, oh, like I should have gotten in. If you're trading on your own, you know, you're welcome to put the profit target slightly inside of that level. So if you would have put it just a few ticks above, as you can see right here, bang, you would have gotten in, would have made some real good money. My bot just does it right at the level, didn't enter. But that's still a good trade that I do like. And if you got in, again, congrats. Love that for you. You can see right here, a little later in the day, just textbook roll reversal where set the level, close above, few candles, entered that one and got out. Same candle. It's about a little over $200 win, probably 220-ish, give or take, 225. And that hit the same candle. The reason I set the profit target here is because I look at the distance between that level and the moving average. And I'm like, well, if it goes down and touches that, that's going to be my stop. But if it goes up equidistant amount, then that's going to be my profit target. Could have made a little bit more, but like I said, you can't be too upset with a $200+ win in like probably 30 seconds or whatever. So we take that win, especially after being down on the day. Now we're up on the day. I really don't look for the grand slam home runs. I know people do, and hell yeah, if you hit those, that's awesome. You just need some base hits. Like, you don't need to be up $10 million in a day. Like, you can slowly get the wins, more wins than losses, build like that. It's really how I like to do it. And, you know, who's to say that you would have sold up here too if you just kept it riding, you know, a couple big candles, it turns around, and then you could easily turn a winning trade into a losing trade, and it really starts to tank after this. So you got to be careful. You got to take profits eventually, and, you know, sure, you could let it ride a little more. Some people like to move their stop loss, so, you know, you can move it up to the moving average right here. However, that wouldn't have made you quite as much money, but however you want to play it, this is just how I like to play it. We don't enter a trade for a little bit. We don't enter right here. We did set a high, but we didn't get a close. We got 1, 2, 3, but it didn't quite come down and hit that level again. If I draw you a line right here, if this candle were to come down and touch it, would have gotten in. By the time it does end up touching that level, it's way too close for the moving average, similarly to what I was saying earlier, except this one would not have worked. It would have been a stop. It tanked. So, you know, if you bet long, the proximity to the moving average was a little too close for me. Don't love the trade. But one trade I do love that our bot makes is bang right here. This one didn't identify as a swing level on my indicator, but it is a swing level because we had quite a few below. Anyways, we take that high, zoom it over here. Once we close a few times above, we enter long. This one almost was a stop. It started getting a little close to the moving average, but ultimately it reversed, turned around, hit a big trade for about not quite 300, but over 200. You can see back here, why did it not enter a trade right here? We only had one close above that resistance level, and that's not enough for me. I like a bunch of closes. It really signifies the roll reversal, as opposed to one little blip above that level isn't enough for me, and as you can see, it would not have worked, so our bot avoids the trade. And I believe we do make a few more trades here. Another textbook level, set the high. You know, this indicator right here, I'm in NinjaTrader right now, but you can just set the level. It's just a swing level on the indicators. Let's see if I can bring this up for you. Just the swing indicator. I have it on strength 5, so it just looks back and forward 5 candles. Make sure it's either the high or the low. Sets that level for you. And another beautiful setup. We set the level clearly, go above it, quite a few closes, enter right there, and bang, hit our profit target, only 200. This day wasn't quite as volatile as some of the previous days, but you know, you hit a bunch of $200 trades and you're in pretty damn good shape, you know. We ended up being up $750 today, and I believe those are all the trades we made. There might have been one oh yeah, there's one more at the end of the day. Right here, we take this high from back here, bang, close well above it. A lot of times too, when that high is below the moving average, which is that gold line, that's a real good one that I like. And look at that. I mean, we maybe went down a few ticks before we hit for about, that was only about 200, but still. The volatile days are tough. I like to set a max stop at about 500 because I don't want to get absolutely clobbered and you could come back from it. The less volatile days, we didn't have a $2,000 trade like yesterday, but we still had quite a few small wins throughout the day that our bot hit and made us 750 on the day, so we'll take it.